Welcome back to Vault Hunters. Last time I spent almost all of my resources on a few storage disks, but now I'm super short on resources, so I need to optimize my vault running setup. I have a grid down into the cave next to my altar, but the bottleneck I'm dealing with is the items needed are starting to get pretty high. That means I need some farms. Luckily, there's some mods that can help me out with that. I can use either CAGERIUM or mob spawners to farm mobs. I am going to need dark utilities if I decide to use mob spawners though. Mob spawners is going to be faster, but they act just like a normal vanilla spawner, but I can configure what mob is inside of them. So that also means that I have to be within 16 blocks, I believe, which I'm not sure if I necessarily want to do that, especially when CAGERIUM is a 1-block solution that does it passively and only has to be loaded to work. CAGERIUM is much more simple and it takes up much less space, but it does have a much smaller yield. But if I do have it somewhere that's loaded a lot, or even maybe the spawn chunks, then it could be active quite a bit more often than the mob spawners would be. I'm pretty sure that I can upgrade the CAGERIUM spawners. It's just going to require me to have a few mob eggs of each type. So as I collect more and more eggs, the farms will be better and better. And honestly, I'm kind of thinking that CAGERIUM is going to be the way to go. I feel like it's probably better for late game, and that way I won't have to think about being near the spawners or activating them, or it can pretty much be an entirely passive farm. And it's only going to cost 3 research points, which I definitely have enough knowledge for that. I already have enough knowledge stars crafted, and I can unlock the mod. But it did up everything else in the category by 12 points, which is a lot. So I hope I made the right choice. I can either make a terrarium, a mob cage, or a binding plate. Terrariums are for passive mobs, mob cages are for hostile mobs, and binding plates are for boss mobs. But for today, since the altar is asking for a bunch of flesh, that I think is what my goal should be. I don't think I can necessarily decide what the mob egg is going to be, but I can hope for a zombie. I feel like zombie's probably going to be pretty common, so fingers crossed. To make a mystery hostile mob egg, I need a regular mob egg, a couple diamonds, some vault essence, and some vault meat, which thanks to my new system is all right there, easy to access. I got 79 mob eggs. I'm not going to do them all. Maybe I'll do like 15 for now. 16, that looks good. Each one of these contains a random hostile mob egg. Open them all up. Looks like I got a good variety of different things. Spiders, zombie. Oh, sweet. There we go. That's the one I want. Cave spiders, hoglin. Ooh, hoglins. Husks. Ooh, husks. I got 4 of those. That might actually be better than the zombies right now. Ghasts. That's really good for gunpowder. Creepers, zombified piglins. There's the gold right there. Enderman. Ooh, that's really good. Skeletons, pillagers, and slime. Oh, yes. That's so good. Looks like I got almost all the normal vanilla mobs. Oh, this is actually such a good roll. Oh, I'm really happy with this. I think I'm going to start with the husks, because those are going to give me the zombie flesh that I need. Okay, to make the mob cage, I need a bunch of chromatic steel. Oh, I'm going to have to run vaults for that. And I also need an ominous skull, which wither skull and black chromatic steel. Okay, I got to run some vaults. There's just no way around it. I just gotta run some vaults. I'm gonna have to grind out these materials because I don't have any zombie flesh. What do I have? Maybe 62. And I still need another 213. I'm just gonna have to like hunt zombies by hand for now. There's other ways I could make a mob farm. I can find... Maybe I'll just go find a spawner. Yeah. I'll do that. Before I do that, let's go ahead and do one more expertise point on Bounty Hunter and go up to the last level of Hunter. And there we go. 10 volts later, and I am now level 62, and I got a whole bunch of more resources. I was able to get 2,600 more carbon, so I think that's pretty good for now. Although the way I'm going through it, it's I probably need more pretty soon. And as for chromatic iron, I have 1. Okay, 1 sec. Okay, I think that's probably enough. I think I'm gonna need to build some sort of a furnace system soon. During those 10 volts, I did manage to get 2 identified artifacts from completion crates. Alright, let's see what we got. 2 of the same, and I think they are both one I already have. Yep, that makes 3 of the same. What do you do with this? It looks like I can use the old ones with a Megapog to make a new unidentified one, but I don't know if that's really worth that gamble. Oh well. Now that I'm all stocked up on materials, I can start crafting the farms. So as I said before, I'm going to need 48 chromatic steel ingots total, 16 of which are going to turn into black chromatic steel. Then I'll need a Wototic mass, a wither skeleton skull, and some Larimar. Make the ominous skull and the mob cage. So if I understand this correctly, I should just need to put like a chest down, mob cage on top, and then I can put the husks on the inside. I think that's it, right? And I'll just give that a little bit of time. And let's see. All right, we got some rotten flesh and potatoes too. And that's it. Just that simple. The only requirement for these farms is that they are in a loaded chunk. I think I should have enough materials to make another cage or 2. I do have a lot more mystery eggs. Maybe I'll roll off a couple of more hostile eggs. I do want to make a skeleton spawner, and I think ghast is probably better than creeper. That way I get 2 items instead of just 1. And then I want to get spiders in there as well. The slime would be really nice to have. Let's just turn a few more of these mystery eggs into hostile eggs. And then, depending on what those are, I can decide which farms to make. Okay, let's see here. Piglin Brute, Magma Cube, Enderman, got another creeper. 2 more cave spiders. That might be a good one to go with. I did get 2 regular spiders though. Oh, 2 slimes. Oh, I might have to do it. Just 1 more skeleton. Strays. Witch. Oh, witch. Ooh, I'll have to get a few more of those first. And a few zombie eggs. Oh, okay. That gives me 4 cave spider eggs total, so I might need to go with that. I do have now 3 slime spawn eggs too, so either that or the skeleton, and the skeleton I only have 2 for. Did I have 2? I thought I had 2. It's between slime or skeleton, and I only have 1 skeleton spawn egg still. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with cave spiders and slime. Okay, I do need some wither skulls, and this is probably the worst fortress for finding them. Maybe I'll do a wither skeleton farm. That way I can make sure I have enough skulls to make the cages in the future. Okay, I've got enough materials for 2 cages. I'm having second thoughts. I kind of want to do a skeleton spawner instead of the slime. Don't know if 1 egg is enough, so maybe I'll roll off a few more. Do another 16 for now. Oh my god, yes, I got 3 more skeleton spawn eggs. That's perfect. That's 4 total, and that might actually be as many as you can put into 1 cage. Oh, I got a few more husks. Let's check that. Yeah, I can't put any more husks. It looks like I can only have 4 in 1 cage. Since I got the 4 skeleton spawn eggs now, I'm going to go ahead and put the slime off for a little bit. And I'm going to go with skeletons. And I can either do cave spiders or regular spiders because I have a bunch of both of them. And I'm just going to go with cave because it really doesn't actually matter because they have the exact same drops. Throw them all in there. Now I just need somewhere to put the mob cages. And while I'm at it, I think that the animal pens could probably use a home as well. And what better place to keep a bunch of animals than a barn? I mentioned before I want to build a big castle over on this hill over here. And then in this area on the left side, I want to build a village. And then this little plot of land over where my house is, I kind of want to make this whole piece a farm that I can make into a nice little private area. But the house right over here on the right side, a little towards the back, I think up here on the top left will probably be a nice space to build the barn. And then I want to build a couple more buildings, a windmill, and then like a blacksmith over on this side of the land plot. So if the house is right there, then the barn is going to be right over here. And I think everything in this area is going to be a very similar style to the house. I want to keep the same palette, similar roof style, kind of make everything match in my little area here. And then over in the village, that will have its own palette where things generally tend to match, and the castle will be its own thing entirely. But I am getting a bit ahead of myself, so let's go ahead and jump into the barn build. Okay, the build is pretty much all finished. There's just a couple more places I need to finish some detailing. I need to get some more wheat because with all the hay bales I made, I'm pretty much out. On the bottom floor, there's a bunch of horse stalls. I do want to get some horses and put them in there. Maybe I'll get some other animals too. Like, kind of cool to have a Ravager in there. And then on the other side, there's going to be all of the animal pens, which eventually I am going to switch those out for terrariums, which will automatically farm the mobs. But for right now, I can do it manually. Heading upstairs, we've got the attic, which has got a ghost. It's got a little crystal ball floating over the table. And in the back over here is the mob cages. So each of these cages is going to be putting items out into the inventory underneath it. So I just need to hook up some importers onto those inventories and send them down into the main storage in the house. And to make that happen, I am going to make some cable covers. Let's see here. I'm going to need some oak planks. I'll need some acacia wood. And I think I'm going to need some cobblestone as well. So first I'll run the importer into the inventory. Then send some cables going down. And then we need it going down into these little side pieces, which are just going to act as essentially, this is just going to be a big space for the cables to run. And they are on all four corners of the build. Now I can throw the cable covers right over top, place the blocks back in. Could probably even come around back here to make this completely disguised. Just need a few of the diorite covers. Then I can just close up the wall and boom, completely hidden. Okay, I got all the farms hooked up to cables going down into these side shafts here. And now I want to run all of those out into the middle of the field here. I am going to have a couple more builds in this area, and I want all of them to be hooked up directly to the storage system right here in the front of the house. So connecting everything right in the middle of it all, I think could be a good way to keep things and organized, have a nice plan of how I'm going to add more farms to the system, and work with a sort of hub and spoke approach. All right, Y35, that'll give me about 25 blocks from the ground level, and I'll go ahead and dig a big tunnel in each direction. All the cables are set up. Now I can show you how things work. Underneath the main system here, there's going to be cables going down to the main line. That line is going to come all the way down to Y35 and then come over to the center of the base area. So there's nothing here right now. I think I might end up moving the disk drives here and building like a server room down underneath everything. That way I can upgrade it over time and have a huge amount of storage space as I get more and more big storage disks. The cables then come over here to the cave. I need to kind of encase this area a bit, but up here will be the system for the barn. Over this way is going to be the lines going up into the attic, and these lines are both fed from the mob cages up there. Now, if I throw some items into these inventories, we can see they start going out all on their own. They start getting imported into the system. Same thing here, and the last one here. And I got this guy caught on my table too. Now, whenever I get more mob cages, I can set them up in here and have them all feed in the same way through a cable system through the walls and down into the main storage. And lastly, I put a grid here right in the center of the barn so I can access all of my items whenever I'm in here. And that is also just connected via a covered cable. Altogether, I'm really happy with how this build came out. It's not exactly as I imagined, but I think it fits the theme of the base pretty well. And now I have mob drops feeding directly into my storage system automatically. It cannot be any more convenient. Alright, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.